Hey guys, so today you guys are going to watch a video over decimal operations. Today you're going to watch it over adding and subtracting decimals, and tomorrow we'll be multiplying and dividing. Again, we know that these are skills that you guys know how to do. You've learned them before, but I know it could have been a while for some of you, and then also it's a fundamental skill that you guys really need to have. To be successful in 7th grade, because we'll see these throughout the year. So the more we practice, the better we get. Make sure that you have a piece of scratch paper, a writing utensil next to you to kind of jot down notes and to work the problems as we go, because that's what you'll be submitting in Canvas as proof that you completed this ed puzzle successfully. All right, so to solve for adding and subtracting decimals, you line up the decimal points, fill in zeros as placeholders where needed, add or subtract like normal, and then bring the decimal point down. And then be careful, because if it's a whole number, the decimal and the zero are going to go to the right of the number. So like in that example where it says look out, that's where your decimal would go. All right, so we're going to do some of the examples. I'm going to do the first 3 as you guys follow along, and then you guys will have the chance to practice on your turn for 1, 2, and 3. All right, so the first problem that they give you, example number 1, I just went to a blank screen. That way I had room to write because I write kind of big. So example number 1, they give you 4.52 plus 5.8. So I'm lining up my decimals straight down. So I'm going to carry this right there. And then it said 5.8, so I put in this placeholder 0 to go under the 2. Also, when you're adding, it doesn't matter if the larger number is on top. When it does matter is when you're subtracting, and I'll show you that in a second. So then you add like normal. So we would get 2, 13, carry our 1, and our answer would be 10.32 for practice problem number 1. Okay, so example number 2, they give you 39.3 minus 4.28. So we're going to want to make sure that the number with the greater value goes on top. So in this case, we would have 39.3, and then you want to make sure that you line up your decimals all the way down. So then we would have 4.28, and then we would put in that little space saver above the 8. And then we would subtract like normal. So you can't take 8 away from 0, so we have to borrow. And then we're good on the borrowing because I can take 2 away from 2. So then you get 2, 0, 9 minus 4 is 5, and 3 minus 0 is just 3. So the answer for example problem number 2 should have been 35.02. All right, and then we come to our final example problem until you guys get a practice on your own. So this one, they give us the whole number, so we're going to have to add that decimal ourselves. So we have 5 minus 2.34. So remember from the notes that you guys jotted down, we put our decimal to the right of the number and add however many zeros you need. So in this case, we're going to need 2. So then minus 2.34. Again, you line up your decimals straight down. And then make sure you follow your rules for borrowing. All right, and then you subtract them, and you should have gotten the answer 2.66. Please make sure as you guys are taking these notes, you're thinking about questions that you might need that you can bring to class tomorrow when we have a whole class discussion and practice time on this. All right, so now is going to be y'all's turn to practice. So go problem at a time. So for example, you can pause your video, work problem 1, play the video, make sure you got it right, and then you'll do the same thing for problems 2 and problems 3. So go ahead and pause your video now to work on question number 1. All right, so does your answer match mine? So the problem was 93.5 plus 2.43. I added them together. I made sure I lined up my decimals. I put in my space saver 0 above 3 right there, and then I just followed my rules for addition straight down. Now pause the video to complete problem number 2. Alright, so check to see if you got the same answer. I got 10.9. I lined up my decimals. I put my space saving 0 and decimal to the right of my whole number, which was 6, and I combined them together and got 10.9. Alright, so you guys just have one more practice problem left. Go ahead and pause the video now to complete example problem number 3. Alright, and for the last problem, check how you did. This subtraction problem was a little bit more difficult just because you had to make sure you remembered to borrow from each number. So, and line up your decimals. So I added this 0 here as a place filler for above my 4. Can't take 4 away from 10, or can't take 4 away from 0. So I borrowed from 6 and so on and so forth. So again, if you guys have any questions, please bring them to your classes tomorrow so we can talk about them. You guys will have the opportunity to practice, and we look forward to another great day tomorrow. You guys have a good rest of your day.